Greetings all, and thanks for tuning in for this paranormal pit stop. Tonight, we'll be exploring a historic burying grounds located off of Northeast 2nd Avenue out of Miami, Florida, that boasts the titles of being both the oldest and first and only municipal graveyard in the whole of Miami-Dade County, rumored to be roamed by the dead after dark. Are you sure you're ready to brave the history and hauntings of the iconic Miami City Cemetery? Historically, through the 19th century, lands now hosting the Miami City Cemetery were initially owned under William and Mary Brickell and sat off of a wagon road around a half-mile to the north of city limits. However, following the founding of Miami in 1896, the couple would sell off 10 acres of their property to the city, after which, by 1897, some of the site's first burials were documented as having transpired. While today, the Miami City Cemetery is a sight to behold, at the time of its founding, the whole of these aged burying grounds were heavily segregated, with Caucasian interments comprising around 3/4 of their plots, and all other interments confined to the expanse's western perimeter. Incidentally, through its first few decades of existence, this now prestigious yard was also actually little more than a weathered dirt expanse, toting torn-up markers and primitive grave sites, and through the early 20th century, new luxury cemeteries and funerary parks elsewhere would rip business out from under the establishment's feet, creating a financial slump that would only worsen through the 1920s. Through the 1920s and 30s, the Mad Russian Alex Korsakov, accompanied by famed explorer and horticulturist Dr. David Fairchild, would introduce a wide range of exotic trees to the Miami City Cemetery's locale, resulting by the mid-20th century in the yard's grounds taking on an entirely new image, one of lush vegetation, flowers, towering trees, and trails. While this aged cemetery remains open to this day as one of the few cemeteries where owners of plots actually hold deeds to their lands, and while nearly 1,000 plots remain unused, criteria for becoming a Miami City interment are almost as strict as the city's real estate and require prospective future residents to either hold their own deeds or a family relation to an owner, resulting in all but 10 or 20 accepted burials per year. This weathered final resting place remains open from sunrise to sunset into the present, and doubles as a significant historic site toting some of Miami's earliest and most notable interments, including a number of names pertaining to the very forming of the city itself. In a classically chilling manner, the whole of Miami City Cemetery grounds are surrounded in a wealth of local legends and ghost stories, claiming the site haunted by a range of spirits tied to its many burials, and those frequenting its bounds have reported orbs captured in the backgrounds of photography, spooklights spied bobbing around markers after dark, and encounters with ominous and sometimes even threatening shadowy manifestations. One popular fable intertwining with actual history associates itself to the gravesite of a Carrie Barrett Miller who passed in 1926. Kind of disturbingly, when Carrie met her fate, her husband had his own plans for her body. He would purchase an altar, place Carrie's corpse upon it, and then would pour cement directly over her, possibly in an attempt to forever preserve his love and her likeness. Whatever the case, to date, those who near this gravesite have reported hearing scratching, knocking, and even screams emanating from within. Across graveyard grounds and over the years, a number of markers and crypts have been vandalized or desecrated by criminals, robbers, and as some tell it, even by cultists in search of ritual objects or offerings. Many have reported extreme cold spots, run-ins with apparitions in clothing spanning the eras, strange puffs of mist that float with seeming sentience, and the constant feelings of being watched, followed, or even of being touched by someone or something unseen. And those nearing the military section, which holds the remains of soldiers from the Civil War, from World War I, and from various other conflicts, and which security actually warns tourists against visiting near dark, have described a violent tension in the air. Lastly, Miami City Cemetery harbors the remains of the mother of Miami herself, Julia Tuttle, a prominent businesswoman who previously owned a bulk of the lands the city now occupies. From the time of her 1898 passing and onward, many locals visiting Julia's gravesite began swearing they could feel her presence near, and a handful even described encounters with her spectral form, leading to the perpetuation of claims that Ms. Tuttle's soul, or at least a piece of it, stayed behind, to forever watch over the community and people she so cherished in life. Thanks for joining us for this paranormal pit stop. If you enjoyed hearing our histories and ghost stories, subscribe to our channel, like this upload, and share us with anyone you feel deserves a good scare. We'll catch you all next time.